How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered, where I think we're at the very end of Unlimited Blade Works. I'm pretty sure, at least, because just like the Fate route, we're trying to stop the Holy Grail from being formed yet again in a very familiar area, but a little bit of a different scenario that we have going on here, as you can see by this lovely picture here, this beautiful imagery, which is, I guess, Shinji. So we've got three things going on. Rin is trying to save Shinji. Shirou is about to go after Gilgamesh. We'll see how that goes. And we also have Saber going against Assassin, but it's very possible that she has defeated him. That's sort of where we left off in the previous episode. But let's see what happens here. She walks through the sea of rotten flesh. The lake is not even a meter deep, but the sticky mass of flesh is accumulated at the bottom, so she only sinks in knee-deep. Yeah, it really doesn't look all that great. She grumbles under her labored breath. Every step that she takes gives her chills, like she's stepping on a mass number of bugs. The rotting flesh that clings to her skin is unmistakably rotting flesh, and if she stops, it will harden around her. She snakes them off with all her might and keeps going. Slosh, squish, crush. There's no way someone can stay sane from wading through this content. After all this, slaughtering a cow should be a piece of cake. Tosaka thinks defiantly. That's how she's getting used to this. She's under so much pressure that she has to think of this as work, or else she wouldn't be able to move. But at least she won't sustain mental damage this way. Hopefully. But she can't endure this with just willpower alone. With each step forward, her body heat rises. The rotting flesh immediately invades her nerves the moment it touches her leg. Even if she tries to push them away, the poison has already assaulted her body. They're curses. The malice is tangible, and it's like a disease. One would fall ill if they touch it. It invades the nerves, robs the body of its strength, and boils the brain. Every step taken is a step closer to fatality. A normal person would stop moving after 2 steps and fall into the pool of flesh. It's unknown what would happen afterwards. Probably death or something like that, I don't know. She doesn't want to think about it if one suffocates or assimilates to become a part of the flesh mound. She can't even think straight, given that she now has a fever over 40 degrees. Her feet and body threaten to fall over, but she pushes on, desperate to move forward. Rin didn't jump into the pool of flesh without a plan. She has swallowed her 2 remaining precious jewels, and she's using all the magical energy she saved up to create a defensive film over herself. If this curse really is a crystallization of pure magical energy, then she should be able to repel it by shrouding herself with strong magical energy. Her vision blurs. Her assessment was correct, but it was way beyond the scope she imagined. The jewels that she swallowed to put up defenses were no better than sheets of paper covering her. No human can go up against this corruption. I mean, Gilgamesh did kind of warn her about that. There is nobody who can avoid getting engulfed in here. Here, her own strength was her only support system to survive. And actually, if she did jump into a sea of fire, it wouldn't affect her since she is protected by her gems. The moment she starts complaining... Oh, she's thinking about it. She gets angry at herself for even mentioning it and regains her vigor. That's not true. Even if it's not true, she can't crack a joke like that when dealing with something like this. If her in her feverish state, she listens to the clash of swords behind her. She can't see the 2 anymore. Did Shirou lead the battle away, or was he driven into a corner? Either way, the battle between those 2 seemed to have moved to the temple grounds. She runs. She's barely fast enough to walk, but she moves her feet anyway. She pushes through the decaying flesh. She breathes heavily as she reaches for the lumps of flesh. She moves up crawling. God, that looks fucking awful, actually. That actually looks really disgusting. She feels the mounds of flesh. She lets her body lean into the pulsating ground. This is much more disgusting, but the fever that invaded her nerves cools off rapidly. She puts her finger on the red ground. It's the same as the black mud, but it has a form. It's something that came out from the Holy Grail and took form using magical energy, an incarnation that should not exist in this world. Didn't Gilgamesh say that it's, the Holy Grail is just all the servants together? She murmurs in amazement. She tries to make sense of it but stops. Now is not the time. There's only one thing she needs to do. She gets up and runs up the mound of flesh. The mountain of flesh is a floating island about 50 meters in diameter. She couldn't see it in its entirety from the bank of the lake, but the surface is folded over multiple times like a mountain range. At the very depths, Shinji Mato is there, hidden among the flesh. Oh, we're heading to this lovely fight. I repel the incoming swords. There are more than 10 noble phantasms deployed, and all of them shoot straight toward me like arrows. I throw away the swords that turn to dust and ready for the next attack. In a single gulp of air, my labored breathing goes back to normal. If my breathing is labored, I can't do projection. Without a weapon, my body will get skewered. And this isn't a battle against that guy. It's a battle against myself. The moment my projection speed and accuracy go down, that's when I'll disappear. I respond to his voice, and a straight sword I've never seen before points towards me. It makes a loading sound and shoots towards me with lethal speed. I'm unable to deflect the full impact, and I fall to the ground on my back. I quickly roll to the side and stand up to regain my stance. A scornful laugh. He's obviously enjoying this. If he releases all the noble phantasms behind his back at once, there's no way I could defend myself. But he's only shooting them off one by one, holding back to test my limits. But I'm lucky that's happening right now. Despite Tosuka backing me up, it's difficult for me to project after only seeing the opponent's weapon. I can only replicate its appearance. I can't construct its inner abilities, which is why they get destroyed after a single hit. That guy said that I'm the only one who can beat him. But this is all I can do. I can only defend myself from his noble phantasm, and I can't rush in to attack him. 2. I need at least 2 weapons. But I'm having trouble with just 1. So how the heck am I supposed to project 2 at the same time? He must like seeing me roll around as he looks entertained. You know, the whole thing about, fakes in this route, I brought it up, I think, in the previous episode, which someone commented, and yeah, it is really a reoccurring theme here, isn't it? It's pretty interesting to think about. The ideas of fakes and those that are real. I catch my breath. Things are fine as long as he's enjoying this. As long as he's acting that way, there's still a chance for me to win. I love it when he says that shit. It's so funny. I don't know why. I direct my mind to look inside me. There are only a few circuits. There, I mentally line up all the blueprints I can imagine. I visualize 17 noble phantasms. I analyze its internal structure based on their outward appearance, and I draw out the concept of creation to choose its compositional material. Oh, that's lovely. I cough up blood. I'm paying the price for putting multiple blueprints inside a circuit that usually handles only one or two. Since I started using projection, my nerves have become damaged, and my body has started to crumble from the inside. Blood pools in my stomach, and my esophagus is working like a pump to expel the blood out from my body. I swallow those down and continue with my process. Kansho and Bakuya can't block his noble phantasm. If only I had archer's swordsmanship, I could probably defend myself with twin swords, but I don't have that kind of skill. There's only one way for my inferior swordsmanship to prevent those noble phantasms. I just have to offset using the same exact noble phantasm noble phantasms that he deploys. I still have enough magical energy. Tosaka's supply has been more than enough. But my circuits moving that energy are on the verge of corrosion. My end is near. The moment that guy gets serious, I'll have to project the same amount of noble phantasms that he deploys, or else I won't survive. But at the same time, my body will definitely be destroyed if I project that much. I save the images flowing in my mind. The swords that try to go outside will actualize as I imagine them and pierce me from within. If my burned out circuits can't control it, the swords inside me will shoot out, and I will literally be a pincushion.
Oh, 今度は多いな。10、15、17。そうか。目に見える我の宝具をすべて複製したわけか。なめるな。魔術師の手の内など看破できなくて何が英霊か。お前に働く魔術の数など。それこそ手に取るようにわかる。
I mean, Shirou has never been able to do too much at all anyways. His line catches me off guard. Is the king of heroes who possesses thousands of treasures trying to say that he can perceive our magecraft just by looking at us?
では採点だ。もっともいかに成功であろうと一本たりとも世には残さんが。
Well, here we go. I reacted too late. I was distracted by his words, and it created a fatal delay on my part. 17 noble phantasms are shot out. A portion of the king's treasures rain out like an avalanche, telling me that the king is done playing around. My body wavers. The swords that shoot out from within me collide with the ones shooting toward me, and the impact shakes everything around. I can't block them all. Even though I project 17 noble phantasms, I can only give form to them one at a time. Even if they're consecutive, I can only deploy one at a time. On the other hand, my opponent is able to shoot them all at once. I've been no match from the get-go.
ガラス細工にしてはよく持つが、それもあと数撃か。そら、急いで真似ねば八つ咲きだぞ。
I hear him taunt over the clashing swords. 12 more enemy noble phantasms.
しかし、ほとほと愚行よな。俺には勝ち得ないと考え、聖杯だけでも取り外す判断は正しい。お前では我にはかなうべきもない。
My fingertips are burning. The magical energy I emit and the heat from the colliding noble phantasms mercilessly burn my fingertips. 7 more noble phantasms left.
それならばあの男を殺してしまえばよかろう。聖杯を止めたいのであれば、神事を始末することこそが確実だ。魔術師であるお前たちならば、あの泥を越えずとも殺しようはあったろう。だというのに、まだ救おうというその偽善。
Yeah, you guys don't... You don't want to hear my opinion on that one. To be fair, I did think Shinji was already dead. It's going to break. My circuits are going to burn out completely. It's not enough. I'm no match against this man with my measly circuits. Why can't I block them? That guy said I could win, but this isn't even a contest right now. So does that mean... Am I making some sort of mistake? 3 noble phantasms left. I don't know if my body can hold out until I block them all. No, what I need to be thinking about right now is what the difference is between my blades and Archer's blades. In that moment, all of my senses freeze up. I don't even look at the remaining 3 noble phantasms. I'm focused on the golden servant pulling out a sword. A strange sword. My mind goes blank the moment I see what looks to be a stone pillar. His taunting voice echoes with the roar of the sword. I eliminate the 3 remaining blueprints in my circuit and rapidly try to read his sword. And yet... Until now, I've been able to read every sword. But I can't read the construction of that sword. Actually, I wonder, is that a weapon that we've seen somewhere in here? It looks slightly familiar. Kind of like this, but I guess not exact. But that's the closest I can think. It's a different blade, I think, overall. The wind creates a fault line. The slashing winds released from Gilgamesh's sword push away his own noble phantasms and head toward me. My mind is still blank. I can't come up with any countermeasures, so I just release the remaining magical energy within me. And? Oh, okay, we're heading back over to Saber, it seems like. The swordsman holds up his sword. An unknown imaginary stance for an unknown imaginary man. He readies his fatal technique that cuts his enemy by simultaneously executing blows from different angles. She's experienced that attack before. The previous one only attacked in a circular motion and at a vertical axis. That was why she was able to avoid it and managed to survive. But the true technique is said to have 3 trajectories. A circular and vertical slash, and probably a horizontal slash that cuts anyone who tries to escape sideways. If all 3 of those were to be released simultaneously, there is no escape. Once in range, the other 2 attacks will hit, even if one is blocked. Escaping sideways is impossible, and the long katana will be able to make contact if the target tries to retreat back. Magical sword, swallow reversal. A divine technique that surpasses even the powers of servants. This is the ultimate technique an unknown swordsman put his entire existence into perfecting. The long katana wavers. He steps in to reduce the distance between the opponents. A distance close enough to cut down Saber. From a distance that does not allow any defense, a constricting trajectory is unleashed. Saber is not going to use her sacred sword. To begin with, she can't use her noble phantasm from the distance the 2 are at. No matter how fast Saber's sacred sword may be, Assassin's swallow reversal is much faster. Her head will surely fly while she tries to put magical energy into her sword. Thus, the only thing she can rely on is her sword skills. The blade's arc begins to move in. Even though this is her second time seeing it, its precision and speed are astonishing. How much training did he do to be able to execute an attack like that? At that moment, Saber can only shudder. That attack cannot be blocked. This magical sword is that man's attempt at challenging the gods and Buddha. Nobody but a god would be able to prevent or parry the attack. She holds her breath. In the back of her mind, there is a faint spark as small as a grain of sand. She doesn't think of what that is, or if it's the right thing to do, but she risks everything on that one instinctual inspiration. She charges towards that victory with all she has. What did the fictional swordsmaster think in seeing that? The silver armor slips through the gap between his arms. Under the swordsman's left elbow, between his waist and arm, she must have seen that the slightest gap was the magical sword's blind spot. While her armor gets chipped away by the 3 blades that come flying, Saber curls herself up and rushes toward that one point. Her prediction, her outstanding intuition allows her to execute that exquisite skill. She was able to foresee the complete form of the magical sword, which was yet to be seen because she had experienced the incomplete swallow reversal once. However, that is not the surprising thing. What truly kept her alive was her determination. She trusted that momentary spark and put all of her abilities into that momentary gap. She shook off the fear that she might get cut up into pieces if she was even slightly delayed, and ran through the gap that was impossible to pass. And thus, her determination was what managed to defeat that magical blade. But the match is not over. Avoiding the swallow reversal puts her enemy right next to her, and her lunge outpaces the swordsman's draw. That position is not easy to recover from. The long katana flies. The recoiling blade is quick, even if it may not be as quick as the demonic blade. And yet, her attack slightly outperforms and is faster than the swordsman's. God damn. Look at that crazy shit. Well, he's dead. Right? Maybe? That shit does not have like a fucking guard to it, by the way. That's dangerous. Oh yeah, he's dead. He purses his lips. He closes his lips tightly and strains to keep himself from collapsing. The blood that flows back from his gut fills his mouth, but he swallows it, determined not to spit it out. The golden-haired knight stands below the swordsman. The swordsman's code does not allow him to do something like defile his opponent and her brilliance with the expulsions from his innards. Saber says nothing. Strands of her golden hair flutter on to the stone stairs. It's a wonder her head is still attached. It's a miracle that her limbs were not sheared off. She felt her body would be cut in 4 the instant that she went into that opening. And that's why Saber's the GOAT. There was only one factor that made a difference. The swordsman's long katana. Had his blade not been bent, his magical sword would have surely been invincible. Poor guy. But that's the end for him. The air is rumbling. Another battle is still going on behind the temple gate. Saber does not know what to say as she looks up at the dying swordsman. To that,
Yuki.
The swordsman says without looking at her. How much meaning is contained in that single word? Saber draws her sword and runs up the stairs with all of her might. She doesn't turn back to the swordsman. She simply runs up to fulfill her role.
美しい小鳥だと思ったのだがな。その実、獅子の類であった。
Ain't that the truth? He mutters, and the swordsman laughs, realizing it was inevitable. She avoided something that even a swallow could not avoid, and thus she was not an object to be admired and loved.
女を見る目には自信があったのだが、どちらも修行不足ということか。
The swordsman complains with a shrug. His form and his elegant haori were starting to fade. His pierced stomach and his blood-stained feet become faint. Yet he looked at his situation unconcerned and sat down on the stone pavement. What a chill guy all the way to the end. The trees rustle. The wind coming down from the top of the mountain shake the forest. By the time the flowers scatter, the birds disappear, the wind stops, and even the moon in the sky fades. The swordsman who was just there disappears without a trace, as if his existence was just an illusion. Alright, well, back to this crazy bullshit. In that instant, I deploy the strongest weapon out of all the items I've ever replicated, but it won't even work as a shield against what is presented before me. The Sword of Rupture. The mysterious sword cuts through the wind, annihilates 6 noble phantasms, and severs my body. It's disappearing. My circuit gets disconnected, and the magical energy from Tosaka has nowhere to go but back. I curse at my inadequacy, excuse me. Oh, I knew I was inexperienced, but I seriously curse at myself for never really thinking of the implications or how that would affect me. Why do I have so few magic circuits? If only I had a little more. If only I had a little more and reached beyond that darkness a bit, I could have fought like him. I fall to the ground. I can't soften the impact, and I fly dozens of meters away, falling violently on my back. There's no pain from the impact. I've lost all sensation. Even my mind goes white and blank. Right before I head toward death, my last thought is how amazed I am that my limbs are still attached. Come on, Saber, anytime now. My heartbeat gets weaker. My lungs are not moving and my trachea is frozen. The fact that I can't see isn't because my isn't because my eyes are damaged. Right now everything inside me is messed up and my body has ceased to function properly. Maybe I would consider that to be fortunate. I've forgotten all sensation of pain, so I should be able to die easily at this rate. I can't let that happen. Even if the pain causes me to be brain dead, if I come to my senses, I tell myself I need to regain consciousness and stand up. My deeply rooted psyche is pointing to a certain place and telling me something.
正義の味方? 誰も傷つかない世界だと? おかしなことを。誰も傷つかず幸福を保つ世界などない。人間とは犠牲がなくては生を謳歌できぬ獣の名だ。平等という綺麗事は闇を直視できぬ弱者のざれ事に過ぎぬ。雑種、お前の理想とやらは醜さを覆い隠すだけの言い訳に過ぎん。
I raise my arm, even though it shouldn't be able to move. My body is on the ground and my consciousness is on the brink of death. I raise my arm and grab onto something, like I did on that fateful day. I don't know what's funny, but someone's laughing. The high-pitched laughter that assaults my ears sounded like everyone in the entire world was laughing. A fake wish. A borrowed ideal. That dream won't come true, someone sneers. Yeah, they're right. These thoughts of mine are borrowed. I just admired the wish to help someone because it was beautiful. There's nothing that came from me. I was always driven by this curse-like obsession that my body needed to be for someone else. That's why it's fake. Such hypocrisy will save nothing in the end. First of all, I don't even know what needs to be saved. But I also still feel that's beautiful. That concept did not come from me. I just saw someone save someone else and mimicked it. On that day, I was empty inside. Everyone died indiscriminately and I couldn't save anyone. I couldn't suppress my terror at that sight that was unraveling before me, and I had no choice but to resign myself to the fact that humans were weak. That's why. That's why I admired that ideal. I cried at the preciousness of it because I didn't have it myself. Is that wrong? Is it fake because it's not my own feelings? Is it wrong for that wish to come true if it's fake? No, I don't think it's wrong. I don't care if it's fake. Even unattainable ideals just need to be fulfilled. It was a dream that couldn't be granted from the start, an unreachable utopia. Then, even if Shirou Emiya is a fake, the thing that is there is undeniably real. I know I can't save everything. I know that there's no salvation without sacrifice. Now that I'm an adult, I understand that's reality. Despite not knowing that such a thing was only an ideal, I continue to seek for it. It doesn't end when someone gets hurt. Even if the best outcome is for someone to get hurt in order to save many, I'm still going to seek a version of happiness where nobody gets hurt. There's no justice in this world. The reality is that people keep dying for nothing. But I don't think resigning to that idea is right. And in the end, he reached this place. What he believes, what he believed. He said that they were all hypocrisy. But the one who said that followed through all of his hypocrisy till the end. Knowing that, I can keep going. Even if I borrowed his ideals, even if I'm going to stay a fake, I don't care. I don't have such complicated feelings that I have to worry about too much in the first place. I thought to myself on the Hill of Swords, if I could just save the world that I could see, I will fight for it. I didn't even have to think about it. My world is small. This small world is all I have ever been able to create. That's right. This body of mine is made of solid swords. Yeah, that's why I will be able to endure most things. I can stick to my dreams until the very end, even the wear and tear over the years. And even if at the end, none of what I sought was there. That is true though, his body is made of blades. We've seen that before. It's a very strange visual. I get up. The moment I regain consciousness, my limbs move. My body still moves after I get up with great force. It's a wonder that I'm not only alive, but able to stand up after that sword's blow, but it doesn't matter. If I'm alive, there must be a reason why. It's something that I just have no control over.
直前に盾を敷いたのか。出し惜しんだとはいえ、致命傷だったはずだが。存外にしぶといな、小僧。
出し惜しみそんだけ山ほど持っておいて、今さら何を惜しむってんだ
I steady my breath while keeping my distance. I know how to do it now. I'm sure that I can do it with Tosaka's backup. The problem would be my casting time. I may have memorized it, but I don't know how fast I can get it to work for me unless I try.
今のは覇者にのみ許された剣だ。強が乗ったゆえ見せてやったが、本来雑種などに使うものではない。エアと打ち合う権利を持つ者はセイバーだけだ。お前のような偽物に使ってはセイバーに合わせる顔がない。
Wait, was that the blade that he utilized back in the Fate route to counter Saber? I can't remember if that was that sword. Numerous noble phantasms appear, but all of them are third-rate weapons. After seeing the sword I just saw, the difference is obvious. But those weapons are still not to be taken lightly. Normally, they would be more than enough to kill me. The difference in our strength has not changed. Even though I miraculously survived that last attack, I'm no match against that servant with just my projection.
ほう、真似事はおしまいか。ようやく無駄と分かったらしい。ならば潔く消えるがいい。偽物を作るその頭蓋、一片たりとも残しはせん。
The floating noble phantasms are deployed. And there's Saber. But then,
シロ
a gust of blue wind intervenes between us.
セイバーか。
Gilgamesh instantly jumps back. Even Gilgamesh is cautious against Saber. Seeing as his swordsmanship is inferior, he probably wants to avoid hand-to-hand combat with Saber.
よかった。無事ですか、シロ。遅くなりました。あとは私が受け持ちます。シロは離れて。
No, we're a part of this fight now.
いや、ギルガメッシュは俺一人でなんとかできる。離れるのはそっちだ、セイバー。
何を言うのです、シロ。
Is it reality marble time?
その体で彼の相手をすると。いえ、そもそも魔術師ではサーバントには太刀打ちできない。それはあ
Well,
なたもよく知っているでしょう。
you weren't really, like, fully conscious during it, but, I mean, Reen really took on Caster pretty damn well.
ああ、けど俺とあいつだけは例外だ。信じろ。俺はきっとあいつに勝てる。
Saber gasps. Saber is surprised because she believes what I'm saying.
セイバーは境内の裏に急いでくれ。遠坂が一人で聖杯を止めてる。けど、あれを壊せるのはセイバーだけだ。
A few seconds, no, not even a second passed, after she tightly closed her eyes once.
ご武運を。リンは私が必ず。
She says exactly what I want to hear and steps away from Gilgamesh. The silver armor turns away.
セイバ
I call out to her just once.
ー、お前を救うことが俺にはできなかった。
And I say it. I'm going to try to tell her on behalf of the times I spent with her and the times he spent thinking of her.
あの聖杯はお前が望んでいるものじゃないと思う。だからよく見極めておくんだ。次は決して間違えないように。
シロ。
ごめん、うまく言えない。俺はお前のマスターにはふさわしくなかったんだろう。だから
I couldn't even find out what she really wanted.
そんなことはない。シロは私のマスターだ。
セイバ
サーバントとして責務を果たしてきます。伝えたいことはその後に。
If there really is an afterwards. She runs off without turning back. Her gallant appearance is like a gust of wind. Alright, where were we? Saber left. Without the slightest doubt, she believed my words when I said that I would beat my opponent and left to save Tosaka. Alright, let's go. From here on, there's no room for hesitation. All I need to do is defeat the enemy in front of me. Again, a beautiful expression overall.
正気か貴様。ただ一つの勝機を逃し、あの小娘を助けさせるだと。たわけめ。自らを犠牲にする行為など全て偽りに過ぎぬ。それを未だ悟れぬとは筋金の入った偽善者だ。ああ、それだけは称えてやろう、小僧。
His noble phantasms deploy. There are less than 30 of them. If I want to block them, I'll just have to create them.
贋作、偽善者か。はあ、別にそういうのも悪くない。確かに、俺はフェイカーだからな。
I raise one of my arms. I close one eye and turn my mind to look within.
勘違いしてた。俺の剣聖っていうのは剣を作ることじゃないんだ。そもそも俺にはそんな器用な真似なんてできっこない。
That's right. Tosaka told me this. I can only use one kind of magecraft. Strengthening and projection are just byproducts of what I actually do.
そうだ。俺にできることはただ一つ。自分の心を形にすることだけだった。
I turn. I grab my outstretched right arm with my left hand and glare at Gilgamesh.
体は剣でできている。
Oh, here we go. I say the spell. Casting is only a method of suggestion to change oneself. These words were naturally there to connect me.
そうか。 よまいごとはそこまでだ。
Numerous noble phantasms get released. I create. That's why I had one eye open. I drag out a shield from the hill to block the oncoming noble phantasms. No, we've seen this before. The swarm of swords strike wildly. The shield is Shirou Emiya, myself. The 7-petal shield cracks, and my body chips away with every fracture.
塩は鉄で心はガラス。
There's only one place I need to reach. The power that surges forth immediately fills me to capacity.
なに？
What is he so surprised about? Is he shocked that his treasure can't even penetrate through my single shield? Or is he surprised by the rush of magical energy?
幾度の戦場を越えて腐敗。ただの一度の敗走もなく、ただの一度の勝負もなし。
It's going to break. The surging magical energy can't be suppressed. 10 units of magical energy filling a single magic circuit break the foundation to find release.
突破できんだと？
My blood flows backwards. The shield is full of holes. Even if his noble phantasms do not reach me, my body is full of holes already. And yet,
担い手はここに一人。剣の丘で鉄を打つ。
magical energy rages out of control. But I don't care. My body is a circuit that solely exists to use a certain magecraft, and that magecraft alone. So there should be something beyond that. There should be something beyond that if I can't make it with this circuit. No, even now it's there. It's just not visible. There were no circuit limitations from the very beginning. If what was preventing it was not a wall but darkness, then the limit is somewhere beyond the darkness.
ならば、我が生涯に意味はいらず。
10 units of magical energy filling a single magic circuit break the foundation to find release, and I will use 100 circuits to take 1,000 units of magical energy.
この体は無限の剣でできていた。
I say its true name. In that instant... Ooh. Everything shatters and regenerates. Oh boy, oh boy. Here we go. Flames rush. The fire becomes a wall that creates a boundary and changes the world. A wasteland follows. A hill with countless swords in disarray reveals itself before me. How does this place look to that guy? The golden servant simply stands there with a seething look on his face and confronts his enemy.
そうだ。剣を作るんじゃない。俺は無限に剣を内包した世界を作る。それだけがエミやシロに許された魔術だった。
A desolate world. A graveyard where there are no living creatures, only swords. In this world where swords get replicated just by looking directly at them, every sword in existence is here. This is Shirou Emiya's world, a reality marble. The greatest forbidden magecraft that materializes the caster's mental world. This is the heroic spirit, Emiya's noble phantasm, and the only weapon I possess. Oh, wow. We used a reality marble. That was our Steam achievement there. Wait, what was changed in the servant data then? Was it the noble phantasm here? Yes, I think so. I don't think we had this prior. Infinite sword creation. Special magecraft that Archer uses, known as a reality marble. It replicates weapons that he has visually recognized. However, replicated weapons are degraded by 1 rank. Defensive equipment can be replicated as well, but they require 2 to 3 times the magical energy of a typical projection. Well, there we go. Any new weapon data? Does not look like it. But I thought I would check. Everything is here and nothing is here. That's why it's called Unlimited Blade Works. As someone who lived his whole life as a sword, this is the only definite and tangible answer that he was able to obtain.
こういう結界、それが貴様の能力か。
I take a step forward. Surrounding me are the swords that were floating behind him earlier.
驚くことはない。これは全て偽物だ。お前の言う取るに足らない存在だ。
Excuse me, I was getting a drink of water. My throat is like killing me. I stretch out my arms. The swords stuck in the ground come out easily, as if accepting me as their wielder.
だがな、偽物が本物にかなわないなんて道理はない。お前が本物だと言うなら、ことごとくを凌駕して、その存在を叩き落とそう。
I step forward. In front of me is the servant who possesses thousands of treasures.
行くぞ英雄王。武器の貯蔵は十分か。
Man, Shirou, you are really coming off as a Chad here, and I respect it.
思い上がったな、雑種。
The enemy opens his gate and deploys numerous noble phantasms. I charge through the wasteland. Here, the two different groups of swords begin their final clash. And clash they do, goddamn. And now we're back here.
あれは
Okay, yeah, my throat is actually killing me. Like, it really hurts. I don't know why. Maybe I was talking too much today, so this will not be the final episode, but maybe the next episode will be the final episode for Unlimited Blade Works. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do like to see all of this, you know, fleshed out as much as they need to be to tell the remainder of the story. But either way, it really does feel like we're at the end. So I guess tune in next time, maybe, for the finale. Possibly. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Either way, I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are as well. And I'm very excited to see how this conflict, this war, will end in this route. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.